Listen to me now, and listen with every part of your being, because what you are about to hear will either raise you to your throne or leave you chained in a prison of your own making. This speech is not entertainment. It is not a distraction. It is a fire. And if you take it into your soul, it will burn away your excuses, your doubts, your waiting, and your hesitation. For what you're about to hear is the missing law that separates the man who becomes something from the man who stays nothing, the man who rises above his environment, from the man who becomes a victim of it, the man who owns the room, from the man who can't get in the door. I will teach you today a truth so simple it will pierce you like a blade, but so powerful it can rebuild your destiny from the ground up. And it is this: you must act like you've already won, or you will never win at all. If you listen to this message and apply it, not casually, not once, but daily and with faith, you will begin to walk differently. People will look at you and feel something they cannot explain. Your voice will carry weight. Doors will open. Opportunities will bow. You will no longer wait to be noticed. You will be remembered. But if you ignore this, if you listen and then drift back into your old patterns, your old tone, your old self-pity and hesitation, your life will decay. You will walk the earth with the pain of knowing you had a crown within reach and you turned your back on it. You will watch lesser men rise while you shrink. You will see your own potential mocking you in silence, and that pain will rot the soul. You'll tell yourself lies to justify your stagnation. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe success is for others. But deep down, you will know the truth. You heard the call, and you chose comfort instead of power, and nothing will haunt you more. I have seen this law raise men from poverty to power. I have seen it transform uncertain, trembling boys into leaders of industry, builders of empires, voices of strength. I have watched it turn silence into thunder, weakness into posture, wandering into direction. I am not here to inspire you. I am here to awaken the giant you have been suffocating. So hear me. If you will sit still, if you will listen with your entire spirit, if you will take this speech and make it your gospel, repeat it, walk in it, build with it, you will become unrecognizable to the man you are now, and the world will be forced to follow the man who no longer waits. The only question is this: will you remain who you are, or will you dare to act like the winner you were born to be? Now listen. Listen as if your future depends on it, because it does. Do you wish to know the secret by which great men rise? It is not wealth, nor privilege, nor luck. It is this: they act like they have already won. They carry themselves as if the prize is theirs, even when others see nothing, and because they act with victory in mind, the world is forced to respond as if victory is already theirs. All power begins with mental assumption. A man must first accept within his own mind that he is worthy of success, that he is designed for achievement, that he is born to conquer, not merely to survive. If he waits for the world to name him a winner, he will die unknown. But if he walks, speaks, and chooses like a victor, he becomes one. There is a law you must write upon your soul. You must be the man in thought before you can become the man in fact. This is not theory. It is spiritual law. All men who have succeeded first became success within. They won the inner battle before the outer war even began. The starting point of this transformation is the definite chief aim. No man can act as a winner if he has not defined what victory is. You cannot pretend to be something vague. You must know exactly what it is you intend to do, become, or create. Your aim must be carved in mental stone. Write it, speak it, memorize it. Repeat it until it burns into your voice, your stride, your presence, until you speak not as one seeking success, but as one who carries it in his very breath, until your words command attention, not because of what they say, but because of who you are when you say them. Let us be clear, acting like a winner is not arrogance. It is not showmanship. It is not conceit. It is the spiritual alignment of belief, desire, and purpose. It is the deliberate decision to live in the vibration of success before the world grants it permission. That is the price of greatness. You may recall the story of Edwin C. Barnes, a poor, unproven man who determined with burning desire that he would go into business with Thomas Edison. He did not send a letter of interest. He did not request an appointment. He appeared at Edison's office and announced his purpose. He acted like his success was already secured. Barnes did not wait to be chosen. He presented himself as if the partnership already existed. He spoke as one who had arrived. Though he had no money, no credentials, no reason for Edison to accept him, his tone carried faith, and Edison sensed it. And in time, Barnes became exactly what he declared. Contrast that now with the common man. He says, "If only I had more experience, more connections, more resources, then I could become something great." But in saying so, he denies himself the opportunity to begin. He waits for permission. He begs for proof. He walks with the posture of the defeated. Imagine two men walking into a room. One walks slowly, looking around for approval, questioning his every movement. The other walks as if he is already respected, already trusted, already victorious. The difference is not circumstance. It is belief. The second man has already won in mind, and soon the world will reflect that truth. You must declare this truth aloud. I am already the man I intend to become. I act in harmony with my aim. Say it with force. Say it every morning before you begin your work. For your actions will always return to the identity you hold inside. And this identity is shaped by what you speak and what you assume to be true. Be warned. If you speak as a failure, if you dress as a failure, if you carry the gait of a failure, if you make decisions like a man who doubts himself, you are practicing poverty of identity. And the subconscious mind obeys practice. It builds habits around what is rehearsed. You must not only think like a winner, you must walk, speak, breathe, and decide like one. Even when there is no external evidence to support it. Even when others scoff, especially then. For the law works only when belief comes before evidence. Let me give you another law. The man who imitates the behavior of the successful with definiteness will become successful in time. This is not pretense. This is programming. Your subconscious does not judge. It records. If you act like a man who expects to win, your inner world rearranges to support that expectation. Dress with dignity. Speak with clarity. Decide without hesitation. Walk with presence. Let your every movement declare, I already know who I am. And when the world asks for your credentials, show them your conviction. For conviction is the first currency of achievement. Consider this. If you wait for others to believe in you, you have made yourself their servant. But if you decide now to act as the master of your own destiny, then belief becomes your servant. And the world in time must follow the man who no longer waits. Burn this truth into your spirit. Success is not given. It is assumed first and earned second. Say it, repeat it, live it. For a man who assumes success begins to see differently. He no longer sees obstacles. He sees steps. He no longer sees rejection. He sees redirection. He no longer seeks favor. He grants it. When others laugh, let them laugh. When others scoff, let them scoff. But you act as if your victory is already sealed. Speak with certainty. Look with fire. Work with direction. Live with discipline. And soon the world will be forced to admit what you have known all along. You may not yet have the results, but you have the power to act as if you do, and that is all that is required. Results follow identity. Identity follows belief, and belief follows decision. Make the decision now. I will act like I have already won, not tomorrow, not next week. Now, begin now. Sit taller, breathe deeper, think clearer. Stop apologizing for your dreams. Begin carrying yourself as one who has something sacred to deliver to the world, because you do. And do not be fooled. Others will recognize it. They may not say it, but they will feel it. and doors will open not because you asked, but because you arrived like one who already belonged inside. If you would understand power, you must first understand faith, not as a doctrine, but as a state of mind. Faith is the element which transfigures invisible thought into visible form. Without it, no plan can survive. No aim can take root. No man can rise. All things that become real are born from faith held with intensity. The man who believes his aim is already accomplished speaks differently. He walks with authority. He acts not as one who is trying, but as one who is already in possession. And the world feels it. For belief is not hidden. It announces itself in every movement, every tone, every word. Faith is not something you stumble into by chance. It must be built. And it is built by one method above all others: repetition of belief to the subconscious mind until the subconscious accepts it as law. Speak the thing you desire. Speak it with conviction. Speak it until it becomes your spiritual default. This is the secret of autosuggestion. The mind does not differentiate between truth and repetition. If you repeat fear, the mind accepts fear. If you repeat power, the mind accepts power. Therefore, you must decide what you will plant and speak it until the roots reach down into your character. Repeat this affirmation aloud. I believe I am capable. I behave as if I am capable. I will act until belief becomes flesh. Let this be the voice you hear more than doubt, for doubt will visit you daily. But doubt is no match for the man who answers it with a louder, firmer belief. Consider the case of Henry Ford. When the world doubted him, when associates mocked him, when engineers swore his design was impossible, he acted as if the outcome was certain. He did not yell, he did not argue. He simply believed and continued. And because he continued with belief, the world that once doubted him began to follow. Ford's power was not born in his factory. It was born in his inner chamber, the unseen world of thought. His behavior was consistent with his faith, and that is the reason the Model T exists. He did not wait for validation. He created it, first in mind, then in deed, then in result. There is a rhythm in all creation. That rhythm is this: thought, belief, speech, action, result. If you begin with uncertainty, you disrupt the entire process. But if you begin with belief, true, felt, spoken belief, then your action gains force and your results must arrive. You must be very clear on this. Results follow thought. If your thoughts are passive, your actions will be hesitant, and your outcomes will be poor. But if your thoughts are precise and backed by faith, your actions will be bold, and your results must reflect the mental mold. What does belief do to the body? It lifts the chin, it steadies the eye, it slows the breath, it commands the room. A man with belief does not stutter. He does not glance away. He does not retract. He stands. He delivers. And he is received. Not because of what he said, but because of how he believed it. What does belief do to the voice? It removes the quiver. It sharpens the tone. It brings weight to every sentence. A believer need not speak often, but when he does, men listen, not to the words, but to the spirit behind the words, and the spirit of belief speaks louder than volume. What does belief do to your habits? It eliminates procrastination. It erases delay. It makes work purposeful. The man who believes does not wait for inspiration. He is already inspired by the certainty of outcome. Therefore, he moves fast, strikes hard, and finishes. What does belief do to adversity? It converts it. Where others see a wall, the believer sees a signal to climb. Where others complain, the believer adapts. And while others sit still, the believer acts again. For the man who believes cannot be stalled, only redirected. The great mistake is to wait for results before you believe. That is not how nature works. That is not how the law works. The soil does not reward the man who stares at it. It rewards the man who plants in faith, waters in patience, and reaps in season. Belief is the seed. Result is the harvest. So I command you, believe now, act now, speak now, do not look for evidence, become the evidence, do not ask for signs, become the sign. Let your belief be so firm that others catch it simply by being near you. You say you want wealth? Then believe you are a man who creates wealth and act like him. You say you want influence? Then believe your voice carries weight and speak as if it does. You say you want love or health or power? Then carry the identity of one who already has it, and life will bend toward you. This is not mysticism. This is cause and effect. The subconscious controls your behavior, and your belief shapes your subconscious. Therefore, belief is the lever by which you lift your life into its intended place. Let no man tell you otherwise. Let no experience contradict this law. Let no setback make you retreat from belief. Say aloud, though I see nothing yet, I believe all is working for my good. I behave as if my success is certain, because it is. Every morning before the world touches you, speak your aim. Speak it as though it is already done. Speak it with eyes closed, body upright, tone deliberate, and every evening before sleep do the same. For it is not the speech that works, but the belief the speech creates. If you feel weak, speak strength. If you feel lost, speak clarity. If you feel broken, speak restoration. You are not lying. You are choosing which reality you will manifest through repetition. This is your power. This is your law. Use it. Do not ask if you are ready. Ask only if you are willing. For the man who is willing to speak like a winner, act like a winner, and move like a winner will soon be called a winner by others. But long before they speak it, he must believe it. No man is born a winner, nor is any man cursed to remain average. The identity of success is not inherited, it is constructed. And the tool by which it is built is not fortune, nor genius, nor chance. It is daily repetition of thought, speech, and action in harmony with a definite chief aim. You must hear this truth plainly. Identity is not fixed. It is formed. It is a mold created by the words you speak to yourself, by the vision you hold in mind, and by the acts you perform repeatedly until you become a living reflection of the thoughts you have accepted as your own. The cornerstone of this transformation is autosuggestion. What you say to yourself aloud and often becomes the seedbed of your identity. And what grows there determines your choices, your discipline, your confidence, your destiny. If you neglect it, the weeds of fear, doubt, and indecision will dominate. Begin your day by standing before yourself, before a mirror if you have one, and declare aloud, I am becoming the man I have chosen to be. I walk with purpose. I speak with clarity. I decide with boldness. I do not wait. I act. Say it not as a request, but as a decree, for your subconscious obeys the voice of command, not of complaint. There is no magic in this. There is only law. That which is repeated becomes ingrained, and that which is ingrained becomes behavior, and behavior repeated becomes identity. If you speak poverty, you will walk like a poor man. If you speak decisiveness, you will begin to act accordingly. Let your daily method be this. 1. Read your definite chief. Aim aloud, twice daily, with full voice and conviction. Do not mumble. Do not read casually. Speak it like law. Speak it like a leader. Speak it until your voice carries the tone of certainty and your subconscious begins to take you seriously. 2. Visualize yourself acting as the man you intend to become. Close your eyes. See yourself walking into the room with presence. Hear yourself speaking with clarity. Watch yourself handling decisions, leading, commanding. This is not daydreaming. This is training your mind to accept the image of the winner. 3. Embody the posture, the voice, the habits, and the decisiveness of that man, even before you feel ready, especially then. Practice the behaviors of confidence, not because you already have results, but because you are building the identity that will produce them. Let me remind you of a man who understood this well, Abraham Lincoln. He failed in business. He lost elections. He buried children. He suffered humiliation and despair. And yet through every trial, he carried himself with the dignity of a president long before the title was ever his. Lincoln was not formed by his circumstances. He was formed by daily decision to think higher, speak clearer, and persist longer than those around him. He saw himself as capable of greatness, and this belief shaped his choices, shaped his bearing, shaped his life. What about you? Do you walk as a man who is becoming great, or as one hoping for permission? Do you speak with the conviction of your purpose, or with the hesitance of doubt? Do you act as the man you admire, or as the man you fear you might remain? Ask yourself now, and write this question where you will see it daily. Is the man I'm pretending to be today worthy of the destiny I desire tomorrow? If the answer is no, then change your habits. Speak differently. Think stronger. Move with certainty. Your identity is in your hands. The world will not know you are changing at first. That is not their fault. That is the process. A seed grows underground before it breaks the soil. A man becomes a king in secret, in thought, in word, in repeated behavior, before the crown is ever placed upon his head. And while you are becoming, others will mock you. Let them. They are trapped in the cycle of waiting. But you are building. You are programming your inner machinery to obey the will of your higher self. They do not see it yet, but they will. I say again, identity is not fate. It is discipline. It is a choice renewed daily. It is a decision to act like the man you intend to be, even when your outer world has not yet caught up. And in time, your outer world must adjust to the vibration of your inner certainty. If you have ever said, "That's just the way I am," then understand you were wrong. That is simply the result of past repetition. You are not fixed. You are programmable. And what you speak, think, and do each day becomes the next version of yourself. You must declare, "I think, speak, walk, and work as if my future is already accomplished." Let this become your law. Let it be written on your bathroom mirror, on the wall above your desk, in the front page of your journal. You are becoming, and every word you speak is shaping who you will meet tomorrow when you look in the mirror. You may say, "But I don't feel like that man yet." It does not matter. You are not your feelings. You are your standards. The feeling will follow the form. Do not wait for emotion. Begin with decision. Continue with discipline. Let emotion catch up once identity is engraved. You must become a sculptor of the self. Each repetition is a strike of the chisel. Each morning declaration is a carving. Each bold action is another blow. And over weeks and months, the weak marble of the old self begins to fall away, and the strong figure of the winner emerges. This is how all great men are built, not in moments of applause, but in moments of silence, when no one is watching, when it would be easy to give up, when the reward is invisible. The true winner wins in the dark because his identity is held not by applause, but by purpose. Would you have this power? Then begin today. Speak your aim. Walk with intent. Eliminate weak phrases. Refuse defeat in language. Celebrate small proofs of progress. Smile like you have already arrived. Act like your destiny is unfolding even now, because it is. Your subconscious is waiting for instructions. If you do not give it the image of the winner, it will default to the last version it remembers. But if you renew the winner daily, it will obey. And when it obeys, your behavior will follow and your results will appear. You must burn this truth into the center of your being. There is no such thing as permanent defeat. Defeat is but a temporary signal, a feedback mechanism, a pause, not a prophecy. The man who acts as if failure defines him will remain broken. But the man who persists as if victory is certain shall always rise again. Every man who has triumphed walked through fire, not once, but many times. And in every instance, he chose not to call it the end. He said instead, "This is not where I die, this is where I deepen." That man never stopped. He never lowered his aim. He never cursed the mountain. He simply kept climbing. Persistence is not just a trait, it is a spiritual force. It is the unwavering expression of belief through repeated action, even when all appearances contradict it. When a man acts like a winner in the face of loss, he activates a law deeper than logic, the law of inevitability through repetition. Consider Thomas Edison, who failed over 10,000 times while perfecting the incandescent light. When asked why he didn't quit, he replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His identity was unshaken. He acted like the solution was already his, even when the world called him foolish. Understand this: the man who persists is not denying difficulty. He is refusing to surrender his self-concept. He will not lower his posture. He will not dull his tone. He does not rehearse complaints. He rehearses victory, even when standing among rubble. Acting like a winner does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It means you do not collapse when it is not. You hold the line. You keep your word. You do what you said you would do, especially when you do not feel like it. Emotion is not your master. Decision is. When you encounter a closed door, knock again. When your plans are delayed, revise them and keep moving. When rejection comes, let it bounce off the armor of your definiteness. You are not in search of ease. You are in pursuit of mastery. And mastery bows only to the man who refuses to stop. Declare this affirmation aloud and daily. I persist, as if victory is guaranteed. I act as if failure is a stepping stone. I walk forward regardless of results. For results are seasonal, but identity is daily. And the man who preserves the daily identity of a winner shall always find new paths to reach his end. Let me remind you, the difference between the man who achieves and the man who wishes is rarely talent. It is persistence in motion. It is daily action backed by belief, repeated long enough to outlast resistance. Most men stop before the door opens. Winners keep knocking until the hinges give way. I say to you with force, if you wait to feel confident before acting, you will be ruled by mood, not mission. But if you act in spite of uncertainty, you become a man who builds certainty through motion. Identity is not found. It is earned in the fire of continuation. There will come days when all seems to slow, when no one applauds, when your progress appears invisible. Good. These are the days that separate the imitators from the masters. These are the hours when persistence becomes the forge of greatness. Stay your course. If your vision is delayed, hold your posture. If your finances dwindle, hold your tone. If your critics grow louder, hold your belief. For the man who acts like a winner in the valley will not be surprised when the mountain breaks before him. He has rehearsed it in mind and motion already. This is not foolishness. This is lawful discipline. For the universe responds not to those who try, but to those who refuse to become anything other than what they have decided to be. The seed that grows is not the one most praised, but the one most watered, most nurtured, most persistent in its silent unfolding. Let us go further. The man who continues despite delay becomes a magnet for the unseen forces of advancement. Opportunities appear not by luck, but by alignment with persistence. When you move long enough in one direction, life bends in response. Write this truth in your heart. I do not adapt my identity to my environment. I adapt my environment to my identity. If I meet resistance, I outlast it. If I meet delay, I outwork it. If I meet failure, I outlive it. The man I have chosen to be is not up for negotiation. You must not ask, will this work? You must ask, will I continue regardless? And if your answer is yes, then your success is already secured in principle. It is now only a matter of time and toil. You may be tempted to slow down when others stop. You may hear voices telling you that it's foolish to continue. Let them speak, and keep moving. For when the man of the crowd rests, the man of destiny builds in silence, and in time the noise will quiet and the results will speak. Your voice must echo this truth. I am not a leaf blown by the wind, I am the wind. I am not a man waiting to see if life approves. I move as one already approved. This is how you act like a winner, not once, not when seen, but always, and especially in private. You do not become a winner by reading books alone, nor by wishing or planning. You become one by rising daily in the discipline of unbreakable action, shaped by belief, sustained by purpose, refined by repetition, and crowned by persistence. If you fall, rise without apology. If you delay, resume without explanation. If you feel doubt, speak louder than its voice. You are not here to be a victim of delay. You are here to act as if your success is the only option available, and live until that becomes true. There is no mystery to success, only misunderstood law. And among the most powerful of all laws is this: that which you consistently think, feel, and act upon with faith must come into form. Thought, when backed by belief, becomes magnetized, and that magnetism pulls toward it the conditions, people, and opportunities required for its fulfillment. This is not speculation. It is the law of attraction, not a fanciful idea, but a spiritual mechanism rooted in cause and effect. A man attracts what he is in thought, not what he wishes for, not what he half hopes will arrive, but what he believes is already his and what he consistently acts upon. But here is the truth the weak man avoids. The law obeys faith, not fantasy. It is not enough to hope. It is not enough to scribble goals once and forget them. If your thoughts are not organized by purpose and animated by belief, they possess no magnetism, and without magnetism, no attraction. Let me speak plainly. If you think like a failure, feel like a failure, act like a failure, then you shall attract the results of failure. But if you think, feel, and act like a man of destiny, regardless of current circumstances, then you are creating the orbit in which success must eventually appear. Understand this clearly. To act like a winner is not to pretend. It is to obey spiritual law. When you walk, speak, and choose in harmony with your definite chief aim, you send out a signal that life cannot ignore. The conditions around you may resist, but they cannot withstand that signal forever. Take, for example, Andrew Carnegie. He was born in poverty. No one handed him a title. But as a young man, he began to see himself as an industrial leader. He spoke like it. He dressed like it. He made choices as though he were destined for power. And in time, power bowed to him. Carnegie did not wait for external permission. He aligned his mind with purpose. He aligned his behavior with belief. And in doing so, he built the mental and moral magnet that attracted men, money, and means. Not all at once, but inevitably. For law delayed is not law denied. Say this aloud now and write it somewhere you see often. I attract only that which belongs to the man I have chosen to be, not what belongs to the old version of you, not what belongs to the fearful, hesitant you, but to the man who speaks with decision, who walks with purpose, who acts in daily obedience to his aim. You must also understand the principle of controlled attention. Your mind cannot attract what it does not consistently focus upon. Scattered thought yields scattered results. Vague identity produces vague outcomes. You must train your attention like a soldier trains his rifle, fixed upon a single worthy target. Each day you must ask, are my thoughts worthy of the man I intend to become? Are the words I speak consistent with my future? Are my behaviors matching the rhythm of belief or betraying it? Every thought, every word, every step must pass this test. Does it match the winner I have chosen to be? And if it does not, replace it. Speak again, think again, act again. For repetition is how identity is enforced, and identity is the magnet of destiny. The law does not reward speed. It rewards alignment. And alignment is sustained by repetition and faith. Let us be clear on one thing. Faith is not soft. Faith is not mere optimism. Faith is the mental discipline to act as if your victory is already assured, even while others doubt, even while the world resists, even while circumstances shout otherwise. This is not deception. It is devotion. You are not faking success. You are commanding it. You are shaping your inner world so precisely, so firmly, so consistently that the outer world must conform. That is the law, but only for the man who walks in faith, not fear. I must warn you, the law is neutral. If you fill your mind with fear, speak often of what might go wrong, expect little, rehearse doubt, and act small, you will still attract. But you will attract misery. You will attract more proof of the identity you have chosen through your indecision. Therefore, let your actions become spiritual declarations. Every time you choose discipline over ease, you say to the world, I am the man I claim to be. Every time you speak with boldness, you say to the law, deliver what belongs to me. Every time you walk in posture, you declare to your subconscious, we are already there. You are either reinforcing your victory or rehearsing your defeat. There is no neutral ground. Every minute of thought is a form of attraction. Every word is either a seed of success or a thorn of regret. Speak only what belongs to the man of purpose. Repeat this now. My thoughts are focused. My voice is aligned. My actions reflect belief. I am already in possession of the success I have declared. Say it not just when you feel strong, but especially when you feel weak. That is when the law listens most closely. Do not be the man who speaks of his dream once a month and wonders why it does not arrive. Be the man who speaks it daily, walks it hourly, lives it breath by breath. That man may not see instant fruit, but in time the harvest comes in waves. Faith is obedience. Obedience to the man you have decided to become. It is not a feeling. It is a command. A man of faith acts in harmony with that identity regardless of the weather, the crowd, or the mirror. And that consistency is what attracts the world to his feet. Let the doubters remain spectators. Let the hesitant talk. You must attract by your belief and confirm your belief by your daily conduct. That is how the invisible becomes visible. That is how thought becomes thing. That is how the man becomes his destiny. There is a difference between the man who wins and the man who wishes. The man who wins moves before the door opens. He does not stand with folded hands waiting for a sign from heaven or a whisper from the crowd. He decides. He acts. And it is that action, born of faith, which opens the door. Decision is the power that separates men of destiny from men of delay. Most men will sit in silence, thinking, doubting, hesitating, hoping to be told they are ready. But readiness never comes to the man who waits. It arrives when a man moves without proof, with only belief as his credential. You may think, what if I am wrong? And I answer, you are already wrong if you do not move. The law does not reward perfection. It rewards definiteness. It rewards boldness. It rewards those who, in the absence of external permission, still act like victors in motion. Let me tell you something you must never forget. Success never opens to the hesitant. The gates of fortune are not moved by men who shuffle and whisper. They swing for those who knock with authority, who walk toward the prize as though it has already been won, who speak as if the answer has already been given. This was the spirit in which I began my own mission. Long before I had recognition or resources, I made the decision to write a philosophy of success that would change lives. There was no contract, no applause, no certainty, only a vision, a belief, and a commitment to act as if the world would one day follow. When I first met Andrew Carnegie, I had no guarantee that he would support my vision. Yet I listened to him, questioned him, and accepted the charge to spend 20 years assembling the success stories of the greatest men in America. Why? Because I decided to act before the outcome was clear. You must understand this. The man who waits for signs will be ruled by signs. He will adjust his aim every time a wind blows. But the man who creates signs by action becomes the wind. He becomes the signal. He sets the rhythm that others follow. To act like a winner is to behave according to the outcome, not the obstacles. When others ask for proof, you present your direction. When others demand statistics, you present your decision. When others hesitate, you speak and step, and the world learns to watch your example. Write this on your heart. My behavior reflects the end, not the uncertainty of the beginning. Do not allow your past, your doubts, or your present lack to determine how you show up. Instead, let the man you are becoming rule the man you are now. This is how transformation is accelerated. Declare this aloud until it resounds in your subconscious. I walk into rooms as if I belong. I speak as one who cannot be denied. I act as if the gate is already open. This is not arrogance. This is spiritual law in motion. The man who lives by decision attracts the world's attention because the world secretly hungers for certainty. Certainty is rare. Most people move in circles, adjusting their behavior to please crowds, waiting for signs to align. But you must break that pattern. You must act on principle, on vision, on your own command, for only then will the door recognize your knock. This is why bold action is a spiritual declaration. When you walk into a situation and act as though success is inevitable, you broadcast a signal that bends conditions in your favor. It may not be instant, but it will come. Because the man who moves as if he belongs eventually belongs by law. There is no greater demonstration of belief than action taken without visible support. That is the proof of inner mastery. That is the seed of outer results. If you would own your future, you must begin now. Not when you feel ready, but when you decide you are. If you wish to sell, begin speaking like the man who has already sold. If you wish to lead, begin walking like the man whose voice commands nations. If you wish to create, begin working like the man whose works already shape history. Act as if, and life must respond. There is no benefit in waiting. There is no virtue in delay. Every moment you hesitate, you rehearse the posture of mediocrity. But every moment you move forward without external proof, you harden your identity, sharpen your edge, and invite the invisible resources of the universe to support you. I command you to remember this. Action precedes clarity. Movement generates momentum. Confidence is the child of commitment, not the parent. You do not feel confident and then act. You act again and again until confidence is carved into your behavior. Say this, I begin walking before the road is finished. I begin speaking before the applause. I begin deciding before the crowd agrees. I do not need approval to move. Speak this each morning until your spine remembers it, until your eyes carry the light of direction, until your steps resound with spiritual certainty. This is the law of winners. This is the unseen force behind all great achievement. The world is not shaped by the passive. It is shaped by men who walk like the victory is theirs, long before the crown touches their brow. So move now, knock on the door, and when it does not open, knock again. And if it remains shut, speak your victory aloud and build a new door. For there is no resistance strong enough to withstand a man who acts as if success is his birthright and behaves like it is already delivered. No man succeeds alone. That is not weakness, it is law. Power grows not in isolation, but through alliance of harmonious minds. If you would become the man you have declared yourself to be, you must surround yourself with minds that echo your belief, amplify your certainty, and reflect your purpose back to you with conviction. This is the mastermind principle, and it is among the most potent forces ever discovered. When two or more minds ally in pursuit of a definite goal, backed by faith, the combined power of those minds exceeds the mere sum of their parts. A third, unseen force is born, a power which makes the impossible possible. But this power only forms when there is mental harmony. There can be no jealousy, no contradiction, no hidden bitterness, no doubt. If even one member of your inner circle denies your vision in their heart, Their presence will infect your confidence, and your vision will begin to weaken. I tell you plainly, a single doubter in your circle is more dangerous than 1,000 enemies outside of it. The enemy outside must break in, but the enemy within has already been given the keys. That is why you must be ruthless in your associations. You are not obligated to explain this law to others. You are only obligated to obey it. You must surround yourself only with those who reinforce your winner identity. Speak only with those who expect your success as inevitable. Share your aim only with those who have proven they can hold your belief without laughter, jealousy, or hesitation. This is what the greats have always done. John D. Rockefeller kept close only those men who believed in the vastness of his ideas. He did not seek the company of mockers. He sought the presence of minds that could match his faith, echo his direction, and multiply his resolve. The same was true of Carnegie, of Ford, of Lincoln. Each of these men assembled councils, not of yes men, but of believers, of thinkers, of men who saw the end before it had arrived, and who spoke as if its arrival were guaranteed. Say this now, and let it become your command. I build my circle with believers. I do not entertain the small-minded. I multiply faith by association. Write it, speak it, post it where your eyes must meet it. For your environment is not neutral. It is either feeding your fire or extinguishing your flame. If you have no such men near you, build them in your imagination. Create a mental council of the great. I myself have sat at the table of thought with Carnegie, Edison, Ford, Lincoln, and Washington, not in flesh, but in spirit. I asked them questions. I listened for answers, and I walked away stronger. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between real and imagined conversation. If you fill it with the voices of vision, of power, of faith, then it will begin to mold you in the image of those voices, and soon your outer life will reflect the elevation of that inner company. Let your daily ritual include this: 10 minutes of imagined counsel, where you speak your purpose, seek direction, and hear back only agreement. And when you rise from that session, carry the posture of a man who has just received instructions from the greatest minds in history. The man who acts like he's already won must hear the same from those closest to him, or he must walk alone until he finds them. That is not cruelty. That is clarity. Do not explain yourself to doubters. Do not seek to educate the small-minded. They will not understand until results force them to. You are not responsible for converting skeptics. You are responsible for guarding your mental environment. If you allow sarcasm, gossip, or fear to reside in your circle, do not be surprised when your aim begins to shake. Belief is sacred. It must be protected like gold. If you must walk alone for a season, so be it. The great often begin in solitude, but in time, the man of burning purpose attracts others of like mind. Like draws like. Certainty draws certainty, and soon your personal mastermind will emerge, drawn to the clarity of your vibration. I remind you again, 2 or more minds allied in harmony create power unknown to the solitary man. Their combined faith creates momentum. Their shared enthusiasm becomes fuel. Their encouragement builds resilience. Their reminders strengthen identity. Together you do not merely believe, you become. This is not convenience, it is requirement. The eagle does not fly with pigeons. The lion does not consult sheep. The man of purpose must choose his associations with the same precision as he chooses his aim. And once chosen, he must invest in them, grow them, and expand their capacity. Let your speech within this circle be deliberate. Speak your aim, speak your progress, speak your struggles, but never with self-pity, always with the tone of a man who is moving forward, and listen to them do the same. In this practice, your identity is reinforced by every voice you hear. Let every meeting of your mastermind serve this purpose, to remind one another who you are, where you are going, and why you cannot be stopped. And if any member falters, you speak belief back into him. For a true mastermind does not merely encourage, it resurrects the winner when he begins to forget himself. The world is filled with noise, distraction, and derision. If you do not build your echo of victory, the world will give you an echo of defeat. But once you align yourself with men of vision, once your circle speaks in one voice, there is nothing that can withstand you. Say this one more time. I multiply my strength by the minds around me. I select only those who reflect my belief. My voice is louder when it is harmonized with others who expect success. And now I ask you, who surrounds you? What voices do you hear? What words are being spoken into your spirit? If you cannot answer with certainty, then change it. For the world you desire cannot form unless you are immersed in the sound of victory. Now we come to the final truth. The world does not crown men because they are good, nor because they are smart, nor because they are kind. The world crowns the man who has assumed the throne within himself first, who walks, thinks, and acts as the ruler of his own mind long before others kneel. You must act like you've already won, because it is the only way to become the man who wins. Success is not granted to the desperate. It is granted to the man who lives in such a way that success has no choice but to appear. It is drawn by the force of identity, not the weakness of want. Do not ask life to be easy. Ask only that you become worthy of what you desire. And that worthiness is not proven through resume or credentials. It is proven through posture, through tone, through the choices you make when no one sees you. The throne belongs to the man who no longer needs permission. The man who assumes the throne in mind commands his destiny before it arrives. He is not arrogant. He is not reckless. He is aligned. He is decisive. He is the same man in private as in public. He does not shrink in rooms. He does not fumble for confidence. He carries the weight of certainty. I say again, for your soul must hear it. Reality is built by identity, not the other way around. The man who waits to feel ready never becomes more than he already is. The man who behaves according to the future he has chosen becomes the creator of that future. From the beginning of this path, we have declared your definite chief aim. You have repeated it. You have spoken it aloud. You have visualized the man you are becoming. You have moved in obedience to it. And each day, with each repetition, you have carved that man into being. Let us now complete the sculpture. Let us assume the throne fully, with no apology, no hesitation, no withdrawal. The world must now see what you already know, that you are the architect of your own destiny, that your thoughts are not dreams, they are commands, that your word is law to your spirit. Consider the example of Woodrow Wilson. He spoke like a world leader long before the world acknowledged him. He carried the cadence of command, not because he had the title, but because he had built the identity of a leader long before the position arrived, and so the position came, the people followed the tone of belief. You must walk like that, not because you are pretending, but because you are remembering. You are remembering who you have decided to be. You are remembering the aim written on your wall. You are remembering the man you spoke into existence each morning before the world opened its eyes. Declare now aloud with strength, I speak as one who has won. I act as one who has won. I walk, breathe, choose, and create as one who has already claimed his prize. Let no contradiction dilute that claim. Let no delay weaken it. Let no failure erase it. For this identity is not borrowed. It is built, owned, and enforced. And now I give you this final challenge. Walk differently. Rise earlier. Speak slower, but with more force. Let your posture be composed. Let your eyes burn with direction. Make decisions not as one who hopes, but as one who has already passed the trial. Let your habits reflect royalty. Let your standards rise. Clean what you once ignored. Speak only that which builds. Remove every sentence that reflects doubt, sarcasm, or fear. For you are no longer a spectator of your future. You are the one building it, one choice at a time. You cannot live small and win big. You cannot think vague and speak boldly. You cannot act like a loser and become a king. You must assume the throne now, before the crowd cheers, before the gold arrives, before the world believes. And do not expect applause in the beginning. Most men are blind to becoming. They recognize only what already exists. Let them sleep. Let them scoff. You walk like your crown is already on your head. And one day they will see it too. This path is not for the timid. It is for the one who has burned his excuses, silenced his fears, and raised the standard of his identity to match the destiny he demands. And now I call you forward into your own greatness. This is your command. Assume the throne in your own mind. Act as if you've already won. For the world follows the man who no longer doubts himself. And if you fall, rise in the same tone. If you fail, correct course with the same posture. If you are mocked, respond in silence. And keep moving. For the world cannot ignore the man who walks with the echo of victory before the trumpet sounds. Your voice is ready. Your mind is made. Your identity is chosen. Your destiny is waiting. Now act as if nothing can stop you, because nothing can.